Welcome to another week of Turn Up, Bear Down.
And
Will
we're
and
back.
we're back. Will the Bears figure it out and get it back together this week? To be determined. But you know what's nice
Doubt
is
it.
that this week, we get to enjoy our Sunday and not be disappointed because we get to be on Monday Night Football against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we have Matt Jansen here with us as per usual. How are we feeling about the Bears, about the state of the season, and just Monday Night Football in general?
Yeah, thank God we're a big market because we don't deserve the spotlight this week. I will say, Justin Fields I think played encouraging, and that's certainly I'm sure he's gaining a little bit of national attention like he should be. And like I have down here in my notes, like we just as a franchise, we just need to look at the current people on our roster and just see what our future is in the next few years. The next 2 to 4 years, I believe, is a window where, again, if you're going to pay Justin Fields on a rookie contract, albeit in the first round, this is when you have about the most money to play. If Justin Fields is going to be your quarterback, you have that window where he's making significantly less than if you were to pay him. So um, you get to build your team around that. And part of his rookie year, much like Mitch Trubisky's year, was the end of a regime. And I feel like if we're not able to progress, if Nagy can't get the best out of Fields, then I think it's best that he leaves anyways because he's not worth our time offensively. He hasn't proven himself. Outside of his first year, I mean, it's really been a steep decline, in my opinion, just in scheme and our offense's ability to move the ball and be a dangerous offense. So, again, just addressing who's our ride or die guys for the next 2 to 4 years. Will Allen Robinson be one of our guys? On the defensive end, just looking at Khalil Mack, is he in our future? Is Akeem Hicks? Is Danny Trevathan? Some of our secondary. It's kind of what's our team going to look like in the next few years? What do we want to do to surround Justin Fields? Obviously, I think it's solidify that offensive line, and I think this week is going to be telling of where our offensive line is, as far, especially on the tackle. Our left and right tackle depends on who plays, obviously, but encouraged by Larry Borum and hope that our tackles continue to play better as we get Tevin Jenkins back and as we kind of progress throughout the year.
Yeah. Well, starting off of what you said there, I think if this was a flexible game, we would not be playing in prime time. But yeah, all they're gonna do is try to hype this game up with Justin Fields playing a Monday Night Football game, and also just the Steelers because they have won three straight actually. So we've lost three straight, and they've won three straight going into this game. That makes for an interesting storyline alone. But I can remember some games against the Steelers. There was a few years ago we played them, and Jordan Howard had the walk off touchdown run in
Yeah,
overtime. And
Mike
then
Glennon.
what?
Was
Oh,
that Mike
Mike
Glennon?
Glennon. Yeah. Yeah, that was
Was Mike
Trubisky.
Glennon's last start for the Bears?
That was Trubisky's rookie year. And
Yeah,
then after that, or before that, that was the one where we scored a bunch of points against the Steelers. I don't remember how many it was, but Jay Cutler played, and Antonio Brown had an incredible game for the
crazy
Steelers.
catch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
crazy catch in the back of the end zone. Earl Bennett also had a nice catch in the end zone as well. Um, and
older.
and Jay Cutler was our quarterback at that time. So hopefully the next time we play the Steelers, because it's usually 4 years in between seasons, we'll still have Justin Fields as our quarterback since the last two
So,
times we've had different quarterbacks.
yeah,
Uh,
they'll have a new one probably.
they should. They should definitely. This is probably the last time we'll play against Big Ben. So uh,
Yeah,
we'll see what he has to offer. Um, talking about primetime games and the Bears being in primetime, right now we had the Jets playing the Colts, so that's kind of a dud. And then we're the Monday night game, but we do have the Titans and the Rams on Sunday night this week. I'm not
yeah.
sure, was that originally the game of the week or was that flexed?
Don't know, but that is a good one. Obviously, Rams are going to be a heavy favorite in that. with Von Miller getting traded over to them. That's pretty insane.
Yeah.
Pretty insane mood. I got a buddy that works for the Rams, and he's excited, to say none the least. So
Yeah, I only bring that up because I thought that Rodgers and Mahomes would be the prime time game. Oh wait. Oh wait. Aaron Rodgers is not
what'd you
playing.
say? Sorry, what?
Aaron Rodgers is not playing for the Packers this week. So anyway, that'll be our one shot at the Packers uh, for this week. Let's move on. Let's talk about our beloved Bears and the struggles of being 3-5, and what is now a 17 game season. So even though we usually are halfway through at this point, we're really not. So here are the keys to the game, at least the ones I came up with, and you have some input as well on this. But we got to find that identity, and we know where that identity is. It's in 32, right? It's in 32, in the run game.
Is he gonna play, man? Like that's the big. I mean, he's obviously on a limited snap count, but that's got to be a player to watch.
Yeah, I just saw a video actually that had him running through some drills today at practice, and he looked like he was doing well. I'm not sure if he's completely ready, but if 32 is not there, 24 has been pretty good lately. Khalil Herbert, I've been really impressed with him. Damian Williams is a good guy to have as well, run the ball. So between those guys, even though Williams kind of went out last week with a little bit of an injury, this run game, it's been, I want to say, top 5 is what I saw in the NFL. And you got to go with what's working and open up the passing game with play action and other things. We got to sustain drives. We've really struggled to do that. We always seem to stall, especially when we get anywhere near the red zone. And then the defense is going to have a resurgence after last week became quite a disgrace. The second half was just really, really hard to watch on defense. I think actually the Niners scored on like their final 5 possessions, if I'm not mistaken. And then for the Steelers, it's going to be really simple. Do what other teams have done to beat the Bears with Justin Fields, and that is to put a lot of pressure on him. T.J. Watt coming off the edge. Big Ben throwing the ball all over the field, hitting Deontay Johnson, um, and Chase Claypool as well as Najee Harris. And can they be error free and not commit any turnovers? Because as we were talking before the show, we haven't really had a lot of turnovers lately, and that has greatly hurt our defense's ability to get off the field and also just to get easy points. So, what are some of your takeaways with the keys to the game?
Yeah, I mean, first off, starts up front, and at least from the offensive tackle perspective, how they're going to hold up against the pass rush of Pittsburgh. I know Melvin Ingram just got traded to the Chiefs, but Pittsburgh's got a formidable line. Obviously, T.J. Watt and others that are going to be, if they know you're in passing situations, they're dangerous. And then in the run game, I believe it all starts with Sam Mustipher. He's got to play better. And then also, our 2 guards, so our interior for the rush game. How's Big Ben going to hold up in that protection if Khalil Mack plays, which we would hope he would?
He does.
I'm a little worried that we're susceptible to being ran on, just like we were, for the last 2 years. And again, who's going to have Najee? What's that matchup going to be like? Are we going to put Roquan in a spy with Big Ben, or is he going to cover Najee? Are we going to? I hope we don't put Danny T on him. Even an Ogletree, I'm not quite sold on. What's Sean Desai going to do? Is he going to play man, or we didn't play a lot of man. Pretty much what we did was rush 4 and drop into zone. So is he going to continue with that pattern? Is he going to try to dial up some zone blitzes? Are we going to switch to man? Big Ben's seen a lot, so again, and then again, what's our third down efficiency going to be like? Because there were, for the first half we were converting, and then when we didn't, really, the difference was we were moving the sticks. It was just third down conversion. So whether it was running a route short, whether it wasn't catching a ball, whether it was some self sabotage early in the drive, I truly believe Lazor's got to call a good game. I don't think that. I think he called a good half in last week's game, and I think he's an established offensive coordinator, and I think that he is capable of doing it. We just need a full 48 minutes of him, and also execution by the offense.
Yeah.
And then lastly, can we get some turnovers, bro? I love watching our defense when we get picks, when we get fumbles, turnovers, when we get to the quarterback. Um, you know, our defense has been banged up throughout the last few years. They've never really got that synergy like they had in 2018. And in order to beat a team in Pittsburgh, like they're going to play, they're going to need to at least force a turnover or two against Big Ben. Try to change some field positions, try to change the momentum. So those are just a few of the keys of the game I had. Again, um, the turnover battle being really something that I'm looking at this week.
Yeah, and I think we both brought that up. And yeah, I'm used to watching Bears games, kind of like the Bengals game where we had, what, 3 straight interceptions of Joe Burrow, 3 straight
Oh, it was awesome.
passes.
Yeah, I
That's
was driving
more of,
on I-35, just yipping and yapping on that one. That was a good
yeah,
one.
yeah, that's more of what we've looked for this year. But just looking at some stats, the Bears have had 13 touchdowns so far this year. Opponents have had 22. 8 rushing for both the Bears and opponents. 4 passing touchdowns for the Bears. 14 passing touchdowns for the opponents. We actually haven't been scored on. The defense against us has not scored a touchdown against the Bears offense, but we do have a pick six this year. And our turnover, we are -3 this year in the turnover ratio. And so, does that surprise you? Do you think it would be higher or lower?
What'd you say it was?
-3.
Yeah, I mean, Justin hasn't really taken care of the ball.
Yeah.
But again, yeah, like it's been our defense is either forced punts or we bend but not broke, or we have broke. So really hasn't been really a super aggressive defensive year for us. Again, like I don't know if that's Sean's scheme or it's just the players or us just not quite having. I mean, again, the loss of Kyle Fuller. I don't. I mean, I feel like it's huge
Yeah.
personally. Losing
Yeah.
Kyle Fuller is humongous, especially you know type of veteran and leader he was. I mean, honestly, I think that's a huge loss. So I don't know like I said, what are we going to do moving forward? I think it's going to be interesting to see what not only this year and how it transpires. Because I think by the end of this year we'll have a somewhat of a feel of where most of our roster is, and then we can make an assessment from there. Hopefully with a new staff and a new GM and just a different thought process and philosophy. I think is a good direction for our franchise.
Yeah, you heard it here first. We're already looking for a new scheme to come in, a new coach. So the Bears will be taking job applications today. So call in to us and we'll connect
Eddie Green, Colin.
we'll connect you with the people you need. So let's talk about some of these key players. We've already mentioned quite a few of these guys. But for the Bears, of course, Justin Fields is going to be key in this game, playing better. We're excited to see him get this Monday night start. And I guess this would be his first primetime game, right? I know he played a little bit against the Rams, but
Other Rams,
I'm not gonna necessarily gonna count that, to be honest with you.
my two.
Um, Raquan Smith, can he make the plays that we need from a stud defensive player? We don't know if Mac's going to play or not, but Raquan Smith, I mean, he made some really good plays. He had that pick six early in the season. We need him to find ways to get turnovers with the rest of the defense. I'm looking at Darnell Mooney to get some big catches, to get those chunk plays that he got against the Lions, but hasn't really had much since then. And then for the Steelers, from what I've seen, Najee Harris is really uh, starting to
Good.
roll.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty good, I would say. Uh, he's third on the Steelers in receptions, according to our stat guy. Uh,
Najee.
and then TJ Watt has been a force to be reckoned with. Will he be the one who's continually in our backfield, or can we continue to chip and help out the offensive line to prevent that from happening? And lastly, Chase Claypool. He really came on last season, um, but I don't feel like he's done that much this year. But will he have a big game for Ben Roethlisberger? And it is crazy. I just remember this. The Steelers started out last year like 11-0, And even at 11-0, it didn't seem like they were as good
Yeah,
as we thought. And
forgot about that.
then they really
Totally
struggled down the stretch, and the Browns embarrassed them in the Super Bowl. And so, who are you thinking with these key players, or who stands out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with with a lot of the same guys. I have A Rob as someone who I really would like to see. I mean, contract or whatever he's done up to this point aside, like what could he do to help our offense? Because really, he's been a non-factor, and before Justin came, he was really one of the people that really were a catalyst for our offense. So just been weird to see our identity not run, him not be a part of that, and I know he's probably drawing most of the attention, and rightfully so. Like I still believe that he's a top 15, top 20 receiver in the league. So he gets his respect. But man, I mean, I don't know if it's his his position in the scheme, but it's really difficult for him to get open here recently, and I don't think there's necessarily. Do I think he's got a good connection with Mooney? Yeah, but I don't think it's necessarily favoritism over him or A Rob. I just believe that Mooney, with his speed, he's able to get open a little bit more in our scheme, especially on play action. And like I said, A Rob's got all the makings to be bona fide number one receiver. He's just never had a quarterback. You look at Blake Bortles, Trubisky. I mean, and now he's got Justin Fields, but he's got almost his worst production with Fields, which is weird because it's the best quarterback in my opinion that he's had. So, anyways, that's my A Rob rant. 2 minutes of your life you're never getting back. And guys like if David Montgomery plays, just for the sole fact that he's going to lace it up and the crowd's going to go ape titty when he gets out there, and just his presence in the backfield and just being able to give him even 10 to 15 touches is a difference maker. Plus, then Khalil Herbert, whoever is going to be super fresh. Again, what's Kendall Vildor going to look like? Because you're going to have to deal with Claypool. You're going to have to deal with Deontay Johnson. So what's in opposition to what Jalen's doing, the rest of that secondary, even if we're talking Duke Shelley or who's going to match up with Frymuth, what are you guys going to do in the passing game? I think we've been vulnerable in the passing game, and I think part of it is we're not getting to the quarterback. That's part of it too. So hopefully we can clean up on those few things, and that starts with our front with Allow Nichols, Eddie Goldman, Akeem Hicks, Khalil Mack. Again, probably a lot of salary goes to those four guys. And again, we're talking about guys that have not that obviously we're going to lean on. And if they get to Big Ben, that's going to be a huge factor, speeding up his clock over the course of his career. We've seen that's the easiest way to beat him is to hit him and often. So I'm hoping that again that our guys can play to their potential. Everyone's healthy, and hopefully we can dial up some very crucial plays, and Sean Desai can kind of get in a rhythm.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be interesting to see just those offense and defensive battles because, um, like right now, obviously, I'm not feeling very confident in our defense, and I guess I'm not feeling very confident in the Bears in general because I'm not super
So
confident in the offense either. But will we be able to do stuff against the Steelers defense? It'll be interesting to see, and it'll be fun. So let's go to a prediction. I'm taking the Bears 22-20 over the Steelers. Honestly, at this point in the season, I don't really know what to expect other than I feel that this is a winnable game. I don't feel like the Steelers are that much better than us that we couldn't win on the road. And coming off back to back losses, one was just absolutely terrible, and the other was kind of frustrating because it felt like we could have won that one. I think this is one that the Bears could steal on Monday night. Ooh, that was a good word play.
like it, wordplay. I'm going to go 24-20 Steelers. Shout out to Alexis Vrabel and Danny Jansen, a converted Bears fan, to I guess, a casual Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I don't know who he's going to be rooting for on Monday. Maybe we'll have Raji get in touch with his agent, and maybe we can, get him on the show sometime. But I'm gonna go the other way. I just think again, I think Najee is going to eventually just grind out some touches. probably a score or two. Um, Again, like Pittsburgh's D is not dominant like we thought it was going to be coming into the year. But again, they still have players. They still have Fitzpatrick. They still have a nice secondary surrounding that. T.J. Watt. I would assume they still have guys like Cam Hayward and some of the guys that get after it on that line. Raji's going to have to stat check that. Cam Hayward might have retired, but I know that defense can still keep an offense at bay. And again, what's Bill Lazor going to cook up this week? What can we do to really free Justin up to make some easy reads, easy throws, and then again showcase his legs right now. Showcase his legs. Don't overdo it, but I still think Justin showed you that on third down he's capable of. You can give him a pass, but he's capable of escaping for a first down. So kind of continue to let him work. That 4.4 speed was showing on Sunday. I'll tell you what, like some of those corners. I mean, he really does have world class speed to go with his arm. So what's our offense going to evolve into? Again, it's not going to be a finished product, but is it going to be good enough to be the defense that's underperformed to this point? So like I said, I got Steelers 24-20. Excited to see. Excited to see us on Monday night. That's always fun. We always get a little bit extra time to see those stories about the Bears. And honestly, the ketchup bottle is what they call it. Heinz Field would like to definitely think that's kind of like a bucket list type of atmosphere and kind of stadium to probably go to eventually. So Scott, we might have to hammer that out in a couple of years, man. Get out to the ketchup bottle, leave mustard.
For sure. Did some research, at least Raji did, and turns out Cam Hayward does still play for the Steelers. To answer your question, so we'll see how effective he can be with T.J. Watt against the Bears' star-studded offensive line. But yeah, honestly, like as
Nicky.
as far as it goes, like two of the coolest franchises in the NFL. Of course, we're gonna be biased and say the Bears, but I've
Yeah.
always thought of the Steelers as a pretty awesome franchise, especially with a name like the Steelers and the fact that that refers to just it being a place where steel has been made over the centuries. And in
They're
fact,
they're an old school top flight type of
yeah,
classy organization that's been around for a long time, and you know,
yeah,
two very old franchises with a lot of history,
hmm
a lot of world championships between the two.
yeah. I'd say,
There's after the merger, ours before, and
yeah,
you know, both the philosophies of defense is or winning in Pittsburgh and Chicago has always been control the clock, run the ball, and play great defense.
yeah,
So
for sure.
pretty similar in philosophies, and again, it's probably going to be a low scoring smash mouth type of football game, and I would love to see that because that again reminds me of what the Steelers and Bears are all about.
Maybe a little bit of snow and the bus can come back out. I'll
The
never.
Bucks could probably still roll out of bed and run for 100 yards on us. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah, probably.
With the keto in his hands.
Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for this week of Turn Up Bear Down. We will be back in a couple of weeks because I believe we have a bye next week. So there will be no Turn Up Bear Down. But we will next take on Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. So, yeah, we get another fun game after this one. So we will see you later. And don't forget to turn up the TV and bear down later.
Turn up, bear down.